Welcome back everyone. So I've made several videos on why you should buy an iPhone in 2020, why you should buy a Samsung in 2020. Well, now I want to break it down to the Google Pixel line, and this is honestly probably one of my favorite Android lineup of phones from any manufacturer. I think OnePlus is up there too, but I still think Google Pixel is kind of the originator, at least the Google Nexus was. And I own the Nexus 4 for many years. I own everything, every single Nexus and every single Pixel phone so far. And I think they're tremendous phones. They're very good phones. The Nexus line means more to me than the Pixel line, but I want to talk about why you should probably consider picking up a Google Pixel phone in 2020, whether that's the Pixel 4 XL or the Pixel 3 or the Pixel 1, whatever the case is. I think all these phones still hold tremendous value in 2020. And the first thing being, as you guys already know, the main reason why you should probably pick up the Google Pixel in 2020 is the software support. The software might be one thing, right? Whether you like stock Android or not, the fact that this phone gets several years of software updates is amazing. We had a phone like the Google Pixel 1 that got Android 10 and just recently got unsupported. And that phone came out in 2016. You know, the Galaxy S7 was a phone that came out in 2016. And that phone stopped getting software updates, I think, at Android 8. And this thing got 2 more versions of software updates on top of that, which is pretty impressive. So I can tell you right now that the Google Pixel lineup in terms of the software is amazing. And even when it's done getting software support, you can always rely on those security updates that those Google Pixel phones sometimes get. So that's a really cool thing as well. And these phones are always the first in line of getting software support and software updates. So when Android 11 comes out, these things are going to be the first things to get Android 11, which is going to be awesome. On top of that, whenever a beta of Android comes out, so like Android 11 beta, the first one came out, I was able to install it on my Pixel phones. And there's not a lot of phones out there that you can install these betas on. I think there's a list of like less than 10, and the Pixel lineup pretty much covers up most of them. I think there's maybe one that's not a Pixel, I don't really remember, but basically all Pixel phones that are supported with that software with the next beta, you're able to install those betas, which is really cool. And if you're a developer especially, getting that type of hands-on access with the newer version of software can really allow you to bend your apps for the future. You know, if there's new feature within Android 11, you're able to go and develop your apps or your games or whatever to take use of those features. So as a developer, if you're a developer, that's a really amazing thing you can do with a Google Pixel. Another thing that I've been seeing with a lot of Google Pixels, especially the newer ones, is the resale value. And for some reason, I don't know why, but the Pixel lineup of phones have always depreciated less than, let's say, like the Samsung Galaxy versions of those phones. So let's say the Galaxy S20 came out this year, whenever the Pixel 5 comes out, most probably, this has been a little bit weird recently because the Pixel lineup kind of took a little weird turn, but when the Pixel 3 came out and we had, I think, the Galaxy S9, for some reason, after a couple months, the Galaxy S9 saw more depreciation at that time than the Pixel 3s. But the weird thing is that it kind of levels out after a certain time. Then I think the Pixel lineup ends up getting a little bit cheaper than those Samsung phones that came out those years. So I'm only comparing those two phones because those are like really the most like popping ones of those years. OnePlus phones hold their price tag pretty well too. But for the time being, these phones kind of hold their value pretty well. So if you buy a brand new one, that's not that bad of a deal, which is really cool. Another thing, talking about used Google Pixels and everything, a used Google Pixel phone will probably hold up better over time than a lot of other newer phones at that year or other used phones of that year. So I'll give you an example. Like I mentioned earlier, the Google Pixel 1 and the Samsung Galaxy S7, those phones came out the same year. The Galaxy S7 stopped getting support, 2 years ago, where the Google Pixel 1 is still kind of getting support, and it's going to be ending the support once Android 11 comes out. So even though those two phones came out the same year, they were almost the same price, I think, the Google Pixel ended up lasting you longer than the Samsung Galaxy S7. And even the year after that, the Google Pixel 2 and 2 XL, those phones are actually lasting you much longer too, because the Galaxy S8 stopped getting software support, which came out the same year. And even the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, those phones came out the same year, and so did the Pixel 2 and 2 XL, but those ones stopped getting software support, where the 2 and 2 XL are still getting software support and are going to be getting another version of Android on top of that. So I definitely do think used Google Pixel phones hold up much better over time than the other offerings from other companies for sure. And also, like we all know, these things have very good cameras. Recently they've been kind of a little weird, no 4K 60 or anything like that. Hopefully this year they do change a couple things up, but you'd still have really good camera sensors. Even though you can't do that, it's still a very good camera sensor at the end of the day. So whether you're taking quick photos or whatever, you're going to be having a really good camera sensors on these things, which is really cool. And the last thing, as you guys probably already know, is these phones are so easy to root and custom ROM that it's not even funny. As long as there's a support community behind it, these things will always have some type of software support, which is really cool. Now, the cool thing about the Google Pixel lineup is that it's really easy to unlock bootloaders if they're not already unlocked. They have pretty large communities behind them, so there's already a bunch of software support for them, which is really, really cool. And they're just so easy to modify. I've recently been modifying a lot of my Samsung phones, and those things are such a pain. There's so many different hoops I have to run through, which is so annoying. Sometimes I'm not even able to mod them. Sometimes they have locked bootloaders that cannot be unlocked. So it's just a pain all around. I really don't like it. But with these ones, it's so much easier, and it's like a right. If you own these phones, you should be able to go and modify these things, which is so cool. So those are just several reasons as to why I would recommend picking up a Google Pixel in 2020, whether that's the Pixel 4, the 2, or 1, or whatever. Even if you want to pick up like a Nexus 4, just kidding, don't pick up a Nexus 4, but I'll leave a link to some Google Pixels link down below, some ones I would recommend. I think I would recommend obviously the Pixel 4, then the 2 XL, and maybe even the Pixel 3. So I'll leave those linked down below if you guys want to check it out from there and help support the channel at the same time. But that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those things are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys would check it out. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.